We caught the ferry from Scotland to Belfast, where we made our way to the north coast via the Dark Hedges. These were used in the hit series Game of Thrones as one of their sets. The Carrick-a-Red rope bridge was first erected by salmon fishermen in 1755. It's since been taken over, run and managed by the National Trust. No trip to the north coast of Northern Ireland can be complete, obviously, without visiting the Giant's Causeway. Our trip was no exception. We had a brief glimpse of the Northern Lights, and we made a vow to do a park run every Saturday in Ireland. We caught a ferry from Northern Ireland to Southern Ireland before making our way up to the most northerly point of mainland Ireland, which is Malin Head. This is the start or the finish of their end-to-end, Malin Head to Mizzen Head. We had a trip round their famine village before collecting a European pet passport for Snowy, our lovely little dog. A very interesting walking tour describing the atrocities that happened on Bloody Sunday down in the Bogside in Londonderry by a person who was actually there. This seems so quiet now. And yes, those are the Derry girls. Great arch. What a lovely day in a fabulous bay. There's Sarah and Snowy.
Have you heard of the big snowman? Lives in the caravan. Have you heard of the Jeffy on the fight? What a hell of a fight. You can take all the heavyweights you got. Leave a lot, take a big one. That was me brother, so let's put an extra low for the men who is at the and I want something about you. So you know the baby, and I know you're not so bad. That was me brother, so let's put an extra low for the men who is at the so
I had a birthday, a pub meal, and then the Northern Lights. Lovely. Before climbing Errigal the next day. We went and had a look at Isaranka waterfall before heading off to Slieve League. It has the second highest sea cliffs in Ireland after Crogholm and some of the highest sea cliffs in Europe. We had a lovely night at St John's Point Lighthouse and slept next to the beach and had a fabulous sunset. We drove to Enniskillen where we paddleboarded on the River Erne. And read about the Remembrance Sunday bombing. We then drove to Carrick-on-Shannon where we had a lovely walk around in the afternoon. The following day I had booked 2 underground guided tours. First to the Erigna mine, which is a drift coal mine, and then onto the Marble Arch caves.
It is also still growing. Up above from the flowstone here, we also have another example of a cascade. You remember, that's like that big clump of stalactites all together. This cascade being the longest one in our show cave and about 3 meters in length.
A couple of days later we went to climb Eagle's Rock, but as it turns out in most of Ireland it wasn't dog friendly, so we left. The following day we went to climb Ben Bulbin. Guess what? We found solace in Harry's Bar, where we had a few pints of Guinness. We did Sligo Parkrun the following morning before heading round to Orgris. I did some fishing, caught some fish for dinner, and had another beer at the beach bar. We then spent the night at Black Sod Lighthouse, where on June the 4th, 1944, it sent a weather report to UK military warning of an incoming storm. The UK War Command promptly postponed D-Day from the 5th to the 6th of June 1944. So we had some more beers in Una's bar. Achillhenge was built in 2011 by Joe McNamara, a property developer. Mayo County Council said that as it had not been built with planning permission, it had to be removed. However, some local people expressed admiration for the work, and a local newspaper poll found a majority of locals in support of it. It's still there in 2024. Another beach, another morning walk, another ball throw. With Scamp, aka Snowy. It's known as the coffin ship.
Yeah. One of the members who died suffered unimmigrated due to the Great Famine of 1845 to 1850 and the victims of all famines.
The Dulloch Valley. A group of 600 Irish starving during the Great Hunger set out to Dulloch to find food. Most of them did not survive. And here is the memorial for the famine victims. We moved from County Mayo into County Galway to do the Clonber Woods Park Run before finding the Quiet Man Bridge, a John Wayne film. And no, I didn't find a stick. The Alcock and Brown Memorial. This is to commemorate the first non-stop flight over the Atlantic Ocean in 1919. They flew a modified Vickers and landed, or crash landed, in a bog in the distance over there by the White Tower. Gaelic football. I have no idea of the rules. I don't think many of them did either. There didn't seem to be many. We spent the night at Coral Strand, a beach entirely made up of pieces of coral. We spent the next night at the Finnevara Martello Tower and had a great sunset. The following day we headed into the Burren for a walk over the limestone pavement. Yes, and we also found Father Ted's house. We had a look at O'Brien's Tower on the very nice Cliffs of Moher. impressive cliffs here at Loop Head. Straight over the edge here, straight into the water. There's Loop Head Lighthouse. This area is called the Bridges of Ross, and it's very impressive, with some very deep caves and sea arches, and even ones you can walk over. We even had some dolphins jumping for us. We spent the night on top of the Kilkee Cliffs. These cliffs are probably one of my favourite in Ireland.